Hey there FFTCG players, welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to be looking at the Final Fantasy TCG Fan Festa that's coming up in Seville at the beginning of September, and some of the details that have come forward about what the events are and what the event is designed to be more than anything, as well as taking a look at some of the new cards that have just been spoiled from the Wrath vs Knights deck that should be coming out also in September. So if you guys want to find out more about the event and the cards and all sorts of things coming up with FFTCG, then stay tuned and keep on watching. As always, don't forget to check out the social links in the description box below, including my Facebook, Twitter, Discord channel for chatting about FFTCG decks or Opera or any of the other things that I cover during my content, and my Twitch channel as well, where you can come and chill with me, chat about games, chat about TCG, talk about whatever you guys like, and my Patreon for early access videos as well. So as I said, in a few weeks' time we're going to be getting the Final Fantasy TCG Fan Festa, and it's going to be in Seville in Spain. I am now going. I wasn't originally going to be able to go, but luckily for me, and my brother will actually be attending the event, so it's going to be really cool to catch up with people, almost like a little mini breakaway, just get a little holiday in a nice warm place. I've actually been really well behaved. I'm eating better and I'm going to the gym, because if I'm going to go to the beach, Lord knows I want to look my best for my own sake more than anything else. But let's have a look at the website for Final Fantasy TCG and see what is listed for the Fan Festa in terms of events. So as you can see here, this is the website. I shall leave a link in the description box below. It is a Square Enix's official site for the overview of the event. So get ready for 2 days of fun, battles and an amazing experience. It's not a tournament, at least not in the usual way. You all compete in teams of 3 players, so you can either register your event on the day itself or search for other players on the event. We will assist you in finding a team. Even if you have little to no experience in FFTCG, you can just grab a starter deck and come to play. The rules are easy. Every player must bring a 50-card deck, but you are not allowed to run any hero or legend cards in your deck. However, be sure to bring some, as you'll be able to level up and upgrade your deck. Now this is going to be an interesting one, because team-based events are obviously really fun, and they allow people to kind of get together with people that maybe they haven't played with very much. I've seen this happen at Winter Cup, I've seen it happen at national events, where people kind of get together to play in an event they wouldn't have normally played with those particular people, but they've gained some new friends along the way. So what I can ascertain from this particular sort of, even just looking at this small part of the site, is that it's aimed at a casual audience, which is very interesting, because obviously Seville is not cheap to get to for a lot of people, but it being a popular summer destination. But I think it's definitely really nice to see an event that's kind of catered to just having a good time. There's no pressure, there's no craziness, there's no, oh my god, I have to do the best I can. It's just a time to get together, chill, and play some games, which I'm really appreciative of, especially with Nationals 2 weeks beforehand, which I still haven't picked a deck for. And there's going to be a lot of, there's Crystal Cups going on all over the place. There's loads of really big events. It'll be really nice to play something that's a little bit more casually inclined. 2 sides, 1 quest. All teams will be assigned to either the Warriors of Light or Warriors of Darkness, and all victories that your team achieves will count toward the total points from that side. Will the Warriors of Light or Darkness say Kageyama-san from the Void? Compete in the PvP area against other teams to gain XP to unlock hero and legend slots for your decks. Every win counts, but every team individual match will be won by the team who wins at least 2 of their 3 games. I kind of like it, actually. Like, it's taking inspiration from FF14, like having Warriors of Light and Darkness competing against one another. It's really nice to see that the Hobby Japan guys are getting involved and they're sort of being a part of it as well, because that's, they should be able to join in with the revelry and the celebrations. It's their game at the end of the day, so seeing them get directly involved is really cool. Battle the bosses and beat the amazing people behind FFTCG. Now, I've met a lot of these guys many times previously, and they are all lovely, so if you go to the event, definitely go and talk to them, because they're really nice people. Once you think you've gathered enough XP, you can challenge the bosses after upgrading your deck accordingly in a thrilling 3 versus 1 boss battle. Following boss battle rules. Now, I actually want to know more about this boss battle rules, because I want to see where this is going, because it could turn into a really fun alternate format, which is something that TCG actually could do with. Like, we have title format, and no one really took off with it, which is a shame, because it's actually a really fun format to play. I played an FF13 deck for ages, and it's a real shame that it didn't take off as much as it could have done. Nevertheless, do not think this will be easy. The bosses only grow stronger. Collect items. To help you defeat the bosses, you can collect some exclusive items which will help you during these fights by completing side missions and mini-games as well as side events. Each item will grant you access to a proxy card you can put in your deck for a single time usage, so prepare for some never seen abilities in FFTCG. This could be interesting. Like, I'm guessing they're making silly, overpowered, underpowered cards exclusively for the event to be used as proxies. Like, I mean, I kind of want to see a card that says go buy your opponent a drink or something like that. You know, very unset from MTG, that kind of thing. I really want to see them go all the way with this. If they're gonna make an event that's silly and fun and meant to just create a joyous environment, I want to see them go full meta, go all the way with it. I'm really looking forward to that, actually. We hope this gives a brief overview of what to expect, and we will share more details on the side events, system and pricing real soon. Don't forget to grab your ticket for your exclusive festival goodie pack. And it says the website just at the bottom there, where you can go and get a ticket for it. Like I said, I'm going to be there. There's going to be quite a lot of players I know going as well, and it sounds like the goodie pack is really, really good. Actually, you get a gym bag, a beach towel. I actually really want the beach towel. And you get 3 exclusive Cactuar promos, which are full art Japanese promos. So they're going to be exclusive solely to the event itself. So I really hope that loads of people do turn up for this, because it's the only way you're ever going to get these cards. So like I said, check out the link in the description box below if you're interested in coming to come and check out the TCG Fan Festival. I think it's going to be a really good weekend, and I can't wait just to have a weekend off, not have to worry about anything, and just go and enjoy myself playing some cards with people. But bringing it back to new cards that we've just seen, well, these photos are going to be courtesy of ModPod Gaming, so big shout out to you guys. Thank you very much for grabbing these photos as soon as they came out. But these came about through the TCG live stream that just happened, and these are going to be the cards that are featured in the Wrath versus Night deck. So this is going to be the Cloud of Darkness and Onion Night deck that we've seen a little while ago, but now we're only starting to see some of the cards that are new and exclusive to the deck. And if Heroes versus Villains were anything to go by, there's some pretty solid stuff in here. So let's go and have a look at some of these cards. The first of which is going to be Ace. Now, Ace is a 2 CP backup in Fire, which is fine, and has the ability, when it comes in, choose a forward, deal it 5,000 damage, or pay 3 Fire CP to deal something 9,000 instead. This is a great card that I think has a serious issue, and I think it's more of a serious issue that's underlying with Fire in general rather than anything else. And it's that it's a really bad turn 1 play. Fire doesn't have very many backups that generate advantages unless your opponent has overextended at the beginning of their game. So for example, if your opponent's played a turn 1 Water Zidane, then yeah, Ace is going to be amazing. And a lot of people do run 2 CP VV because it has a similar ability, but 2 CP VV has an EX ability, whereas Ace doesn't, but has the potential to kill something much larger. So you could, I do really like the card, I think it's very good. I just wish Fire had a few more proactive rather than reactive cards, and it's certainly in its backup lineup. There's not many there are no searches for, like, category searches in Fire whatsoever, and I think that needs to change fairly soon, and I think it would open that colour up a very large amount. But that being said, I think Ace will see play. I think that it's great that you can now run forward VV and a variant of backup VV, and Ace and Lulu might work really well together if you're willing to sacrifice the backup slot to do it. So, and I love the fact that it's using Nomura artwork for Ace. I think it's a really nice picture of him. So I hope that he does see play. I'm just not sure to what extent he will. Then the other Fire card I want to talk about today is going to be Terra. Now, Terra looks pretty damn good, actually. Now, Terra is a 4 CP Fire forward with EX, enters the field, choose a summon in your break zone, put it in your hand. That's pretty great. We've already seen Porum do something similar, albeit at a much cheaper cost, and it's when she dies, not when she's played. But this is usually a very good thing. She's 2 CP 5k, she does generate advantage late in the game. You play her by dulling backups, you pick up a summon, it's all well and good. But the thing that I like about her actually is that she has an extra effect on top of this, which is more relevant than you might think. So when you cast a summon, choose a forward your opponent controls and deal it 2,000 damage. Now, Terra is an FF6 forward, which is already really useful. She's also an FF6 forward with an EX burst, and that Fire and Ice FF6 already has a lot of EX bursts worth running. But having it so that it's not when you cast a Fire summon opens this card up massively. So for example, you play Terra, or you have a Terra out, and you play a Glacial Abolus. Glacial Abolus dealing 7k to something dull, and then having your opponent discard a card. Now Glacial Abolus can deal with things that are 9k, or deal something 7k and then get rid of a pesky Porum or Viking that's in the way, whether they're active or not. I think that Terra opens up even more Fire and Ice FF6, and I think she's a great card in general. Not only that, but Fire and Wind, Diablos is a genuinely terrifying card with this card out, because now Diablos can kill outright any forward in the game. it can either use its top effect to break something that's 5 cost or more, or it can take something that's 4 cost or less down to 1000 power and then have Terra finish it off. So you're guaranteed to kill at least one forward by playing a Diablos as long as you have a Terra on the board. And Diablos is pretty terrifying as it is. So the capabilities of just going, you have a 5-drop and a 4-drop, kill them both, is a pretty menacing prospect. Fire Earth is going to have a lot of nice things as well that you can do, but also within Fire itself, I actually think that this makes the combat trick summons in Fire a lot stronger, so the 2 different Belias summons. Giving a guy First Strike on block or attack, and then your opponent that's much larger is blocking it, for example. Say you have a 7,000 guy attacking, and it's being blocked by something that's 10,000 power. If you have a Terror out, and you cast a 1 CP Belias to give it 1000 power and First Strike and draw a card, Terra then deals 2000 damage to the opposing forward, so it's got 8000 damage left to kill it, and you've got First Strike and an 8000 power guy, so it's going to kill it. I think that Terra could actually be a saving grace in Fire and is a particularly strong card that at least allows for some advantageous plays and also combos with some of the strongest cards in the game in some very powerful fashion, so I would definitely keep an eye on this one. Now we're going to move into the 2 Earth cards that were shown today, and we're going to start with Kefka. Quite honestly, I am so happy to see a really interesting and playable Kefka at last that isn't purely support based or restricted to a single deck. 4 CP Kefka with an EX burst that says whenever Kefka attacks, choose a forward you control and a forward your opponent controls and break them. You being able to choose which ones die is a huge impact on this card. So in just under Earth, you have Vanille, who when she dies comes back. You have Arden or Galuf if you want to be spicy, and they don't get broken at all. You can also go into Earth Water. You can break your Porum or your Viking and their forward, and then get more advantage out of it. You can, it's just got a lot of combo potential, and because it's when Kefka attacks as well, you can control when it happens more sporadically. I mean, obviously, if it's on an EX, the way he's worded as well is that if you don't have any forwards, he's Earth's Famfrit, and that's really strong. I actually think I think it's got a lot of potential, but it also has a second ability, which is when a character your opponent controls is put from the field to the break zone. Note, character, not forward. You may pay 1. When you do so, draw a card. This thing can accumulate so much advantage if your opponent's not careful, it's silly. Because if they have to break a backup to do something, you get to draw a card out of it. If they have to break their Porum so that they can go in on you to get their summons back, you can pay 1 and draw a card. If they Famfrit you, you draw a card. There's a lot of potential combo advantage gains from Kefka that it might elevate Earth in a massive way. So I'm really excited to see what Kefka can do. It might end up that because his timing is weird, it might not end up being as good as I think it is, but just that second ability, and in combination with Earth having an on-break effect EX burst that's useful, that stops you falling behind too heavily, I really think he's very interesting. Now this next card that's been shown for Earth is another very powerful card. However, this one has a caveat, and it's her name. This is going to be another Shantotto forward. Now, this Shantotto is extremely powerful, but so is Opus 1 Shantotto. Opus 1 Shantotto has been a staple in Earth decks since the dawn of time, but this Shantotto has a lot of potential. If your opponent controls 7 or more characters, the cost for playing Shantotto becomes 6 instead of 9. When Shantotto enters the field, select one of the 2 following actions. Choose a character of cost 3 or less in your break zone and put it into play. Choose a character of 3 or less that your opponent controls and break it. The word that I find the most interesting here is character. There is very few, if any, cards in the game that can destroy any character that costs 3 or less. So that's backup, forward, monster, doesn't matter. We already know that Lena has a huge amount of advantage by being able to resurrect something when she comes in. Shantotto does that as well. So, not only that, but I think there could be some really fun shenanigan plays where you play Earth Water, you play Kefka, you play Shantotto, you play Lena. If you can arise a Shantotto because you've got miners and things like that to keep pulling Lena's back, you just gain so much advantage out of it, it's insane. And I think Earth Water actually is in quite a good position right now anyway. It's got a lot of new toys to play with, like Porum, and a Bygan as well. There's a lot of really nice things that Water Earth has access to. But Shantotto is just so well-rounded that she punishes your opponent so badly in the late game by having just 2 forwards out, because they're going to have 5 backups out, and the game is very, very sort of leaning towards heavy board states and just making sure you have just more out than your opponent. So if you've got a card that like really heavily punishes that, then yeah, this is going to be a really interesting card to see. So I really hope that this sees play, and honestly, I kind of really want rotation to be a thing. I know that's an unpopular opinion, but it means that cards like this come out and your immediate thought isn't, yeah, but I'm going to run Opus 1 Shantotto instead. I like to keep a game fresh. I like that it's it stops you being able to see the same cards over and over and over again. And I actually really, really like this Shantotto. The only issue with her is her name clashing with a very, very popular card that already exists. But watch this space, because I do definitely think that this Shantotto is worth looking at. And then the last card that we were shown is a Dark card in Cloud of Darkness. Now, we all know that Dark is always something to watch out for because of the Dark FF11 engine, so Star Stable, Camlanor, that Chaos, all that kind of thing. Cloud of Darkness is a really intriguing card. I don't know just quite how powerful she is, but she reads really quite well. 3 CP, 7,000 power. At the end of each of your turns, remove the top card of your deck from the game. Cloud of Darkness has 1,000 power for every card removed this way. When Cloud of Darkness leaves the field, and that's an important one as well, leaves the field, not is broken or goes to the break zone, add a card removed by Cloud of Darkness's ability to your hand and put the rest in the break zone. So she doesn't ever permanently remove anything from your deck. But if she survives at least 1 turn, which, to be fair, you wouldn't play Cloud of Darkness any earlier than your main phase 2 anyway, then she is effectively a 1 CP 8k guy that only gets bigger over the course of time and gives you more options for things to pick up when she dies. My primary issue with this card is just how popular Opus 1 Riku is. Riku Mill is becoming obnoxiously powerful, and and having a card that, as good as Cloud of Darkness is, kind of leans into that being an alternate win condition for your opponent is a scary prospect. But in a world without Riku, Cloud of Darkness is arguably stronger than Goldes, and Goldes is also very, very good, because she's a straight up 3 CP 8k that your opponent has to deal with and net you advantage back. So your opponent's having to spend resources in giving you cards, and that's always a very interesting idea. And being searchable by Camlanor is never a bad thing either. So you've got powerhouse after powerhouse after powerhouse, but Cloud of Darkness wants to survive at least a turn before she can do anything. So if your opponent has a way of killing her on the turn she comes out, then she's a dead card. But I think that she's a very interesting card to look at. So that's all of the cards that we were shown by the FFTCG livestream for the Wrath vs Knights deck, and I honestly think that some of these cards might actually be really good. And we've still got some cards still to look at. That's only 1/2 of the decks. So that's going to be a really cool thing to look at. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring the bell for notifications if you enjoyed this video and any other videos that I might make for TCG as well. Don't forget to check out the FFTCG Fan Festa website as well if you want to have a look at what the Fan Festa is going to involve, what the prizes are for entering, and the kind of things that we're hoping to get. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really hoping that it's going to be a really great weekend, spend some good time with some good quality people, and just really enjoy having a fun time playing cards without the pressure of having to compete, as it were, even though there's going to be prizes and you're still going to want to do well. Let me know in the comments below what kind of deck you would build that had no heroes and legends in it, as as something that you would enter that event with, and how do you think that the 3 vs 1 boss battles are going to go, and ultimately what do you guys think of the cards that were shown from the Wrath vs Knights deck? Let me know in the comments below, and as I said, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and all that good stuff. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll speak to you guys in the next video. Have a good day. Bye.